Okay, get yourself ready for your evening, your early evening restorative practice. Although, of course, you can do this at any time of day. It doesn't have to be in the evening. You can do this first thing in the morning. I really like restorative yoga first thing in the morning. I think it's a really good way to ease yourself into the day. But it's particularly nice after a work day, if you've been working all day and this is just the last bit of the day before you relax for the evening. So get yourself ready, have a blanket to lay on, have a folded blanket for your head, and just make sure that you're going to be warm enough. So if you feel like you might be a bit chilly, you can get a blanket and cover yourself up with the blanket. Otherwise, just lay with the bolster underneath your knees, a couple of blocks underneath your knees, and then a folded blanket underneath your head. It's often nice to cover your eyes, so if you've got an eye pillow or just something to cover your eyes with, then that's always a very welcome addition. Just to block out the light and to have something gentle just resting on top of your eyes to quieten. So feel free to just adjust your position until you feel as though you're as comfortable as you can be. Just enjoy the feeling of releasing into the floor. Let go of the muscles of the arms and the legs so that the body becomes heavy. Feeling that the body is supported by the floor. Consciously fill your lungs from the bottom to the top and empty them from the top to the bottom. Filling your lungs from the bottom to the top and emptying them from the top to the bottom. Consciously breathing into both lungs evenly. Consciously breathing out of both lungs evenly. So the in-breath is like you are filling a jug of water, and the out-breath is like you're emptying a jug of water. The water fills from the bottom to the top and empties from the top to the bottom. As you inhale, feel that you can inhale into the toes, into the fingers. And using the out-breath to completely release into the floor. With each exhalation, allow the body to Just release into the floor a little more, letting go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. Soften the jaw, soften the tongue, soften the throat. Just focusing on the filling of the lungs and the emptying of the lungs. Continue to breathe even deep inhalations and exhalations. And with the exhalation, allow the underside of the foot, sole of the foot to relax. So push the out breath into the sole of the foot to relax it. Draw your out breath to the tops of your feet. Relax in the tops of the feet with the out breath. And relaxing the legs as you draw all the way down into the feet. With each exhalation, allow the body to sink into the floor all the more. Letting go of the muscles of the legs and feet. With the out breath, draw that relaxation into the tops of the legs and into the hips. Draw that relaxation into the abdomen, letting go of any tension with the out breath, drawing it into the shoulders and the chest. out breath, relax into the arms. Unhooking the muscles of the arms, letting the arms be heavy on the floor. Using the out breath to relax into the elbows and the forearms and the wrists and the palms and the fingers. Just focusing on the breath, using the out breath to relax into the floor. So just using this first stage of ujjayi pranayama to relax the physical body. And you can relax the physical body, the mental body is likely to also be relaxed. As you stay, just enjoy the sensation of relaxation on the mat, letting go of the muscles of the arms and the legs. Focusing your out breath into areas of the body that require relaxation. Just enjoying the feeling of being here with good intent. Just enjoying this feeling of total relaxation, just the sense that nothing is demanded of you other than just to relax. Just enjoying this opportunity to be quiet, to create a little noise. Observe the freedom of deep inhalations and deep exhalations, how it brings tingly energy into the physical body. So breathing in normally, but slightly deeper than usual without overstretching the breath. Just enjoying the silence, enjoying the opportunity to replenish your energy. With each exhalation, allow the body to just let go a little more. If you find it difficult to let go, then focus on the in-breath before you focus on the out-breath. Okay, when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers. Just maintain your attention on the breath. And then bend your knees, bring your feet onto the bolster, have your feet apart and your knees together just to rest your lower back into the floor. And then very gently roll onto your side and then straighten out your top leg, come back up into cross legs. Just hold onto your knees for a moment and just listen to the body. Listen to how your energy has changed. So it's not really listening with the ears, it's just observing with the body. Okay, get your two blocks, have one on its end, on its like kind of flat end like that, one on its higher end, and then have your bolster on a little ramp like this, and then put a folded blanket on the top to rest your head. So we've got a little ramp here, and then we're going to want another lift. So if you've got a second bolster or some cushions for underneath your knees. So this is the fish pose, Matsyendrasana. So you sit between the bolster and the back bolster and the knee bolster, and then you guide yourself down, and then just find your comfort. So the upper bolster should feel open and comfortable in the chest, and the bolster underneath your knees should support your legs. So just initially, just make sure that you're comfortable, and then we're just going to draw our attention, once we're comfortable, back into the breath. So make sure that you can adjust if you're not comfortable. Just make sure that you're going to be comfortable, and then draw your attention back to the breath. So we've been focusing just on the breath so far. So we're going to do a little bit of ujjayi pranayama. So just take even in breaths and even out breaths. Notice that when you inhale, your chest rises upwards and outwards, and as you exhale, your chest lowers and relaxes. Observe the sound of the in-breath, and observe that the out-breath has got a different sound. So if you can, breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Just filling both lungs evenly, emptying both lungs evenly. Allow the in-breath to be non-resistant. So that the chest expands to accommodate the inhalation. And it relaxes to accommodate the out-breath. So just making the breath even and deep. We're going to move into the second stage of ujjayi pranayama, where the out breath is slightly longer, deeper than a typical breath, and you follow that with the normal in breath. So it's normal inhalations and slow, deep, steady exhalations until the lungs are empty. You know that the lungs are empty because the sound of the breath will stop. So you can either do continual cycles of ujjayi pranayama stage 2, just the the slightly extended out breath and normal in breath, or you can do one cycle and then normal breaths for a few cycles, and then do another cycle and a few breaths. So you can do it intermittently or continuously, so whichever works for you. So we'll do this for a couple of minutes. I won't talk through this stage of the practice, so that you can just concentrate on the breath. If you forget to breathe, or if you forget to observe the breath, then just remind yourself and do the next breath as you would do. So whenever you're ready, take a normal exhalation, a normal inhalation, and then slow, deep, steady exhalations until the lungs are empty, followed by normal breaths. Those slow, deep, steady exhalations until the lungs are empty. And normal out breaths. And then just end the cycle with a normal out breath. And then normal in breaths, normal out breaths. Just bringing the breath back into a normal rhythm. And when you're ready to disturb yourself, push your elbows into the floor, push yourself up into a seated position, and then just come into cross legs or a seated position that's comfortable. Just observing your energy. Observing how your energy has changed. Okay, so we're just going to take the bolster out of the ramp. Just have it underneath the back. You're going to have the blanket underneath your head, and we're just going to lay the legs out in a straight line for the heart pose. So just guide yourself down, and again it will feel different. So we've just been in a similar position, but it feels really different. So just observe that. Observe how much the chest is lifted and open. If your head feels like it rolls back, then you can just fold your blanket over a bit more and just prop yourself up a bit more. So in this heart pose, we're just going to do a few rounds of ujjayi pranayama stage 3. So stage 3 is very similar to stage 2, but instead of extending the out breath, you focus on extending the in breath and then a normal out breath. So as you inhale, feel the chest expand upwards and outwards. As you inhale, listen to the sound of the breath and breathe in until the sound of the breath stops, at which point your lungs are full. And then a normal exhalation. So it's slow, deep, steady inhalations, breathing into both lungs evenly, filling the lungs from the bottom to the top, breathing in until the sound of the breath stops. And then normal exhalation. So again, as with stage 2, stage 3, you can do it in either intermittent cycles or continuous. So again, I won't talk while we're doing it. So just get yourself ready with a normal out breath, a normal in breath, another normal out breath, another normal in breath, another normal out breath, and then slow, deep, steady inhalation until the lungs are full, till the chest is expanded, until both sides of the lungs are full, and that the sound of the breath stops, indicating that the lungs are full, and then normal exhalation. So consciously inhaling until the lungs are full and the sound of the breath stops, and then normal exhalations. Maybe you notice that the exhalation is slightly longer than usual after doing stage 2, but don't try and push it, just let the out breath be normal. So if you notice that you forget to notice the breath, then just remind yourself and pick it back up again with the next breath. Okay, and then just bring the breath back to a normal rhythm. Normal inhalations, normal exhalations. And then push your elbows into the floor. Bring yourself up into a seated position. Try and lift from your chest rather than poking your neck forwards. Just come into cross legs. Observe your energy. So observe how just focusing on inhalation really changes your energy. Brings lightness. Okay, and to finish off, we're just going to stay with the bolster. We're going to lay on our front, have a block for your head, so it's our restorative surfboard pose. Have the blanket over the top of the block. If you've got a mini bolster, you can put that underneath your shins. If you don't necessarily need that. That's just there for a bit of additional comfort. So you can come down onto your front. Your head needs to be free. Your chin needs to be free of the end of the bolster. And then rest your head down on the bolster. And then just allow yourself to release into the equipment. So normally we do a back breathing exercise with this. And you can incorporate that if you want, so you can breathe into the top of the lungs and then a normal out breath, then breathe into the middle of the back and then a normal out breath, and then down to the bottom of the back. So it's the top of the back, then a normal out breath, the middle of the back, then a normal out breath, and the bottom of the back, and then a normal out breath, and then cycle around those. Or you can just Just release into the pose. We've done plenty of focused breathing exercises, so you can just use this to relax if you prefer, or that back breathing, whichever feels good for you. Just releasing into the floor, just yielding into gravity. Okay, bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Just prepare yourself to disturb yourself. Get yourself up onto your knees for a moment and then just sit and cross legs onto your bolster. Bring your hands into Namaste. Draw your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Be conscious of the energy that you've released through your practice. Pull your chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest, lifting the chest up to meet your chin. And then spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you have created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And then when you're ready, gently release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of the thumb. A gesture of wisdom, physical intelligence and peacefulness that we can carry with us into our evening. And raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel as though you have really lifted your energy and you've given yourself some good energy to put into your evening. So thank you very much for joining me.